So you want to work on a tugboat. In this video, I'm going to do my best first to talk you out of it. And if you're still with me, I'm going to go over everything it takes to start entry level on a tugboat just like I did. We just spent 3 days in 10-foot seas getting beat up, and it's still nasty, but we made a turn. That's the first sunrise I've seen this trip. So we finally got a little bit of good weather, and I thought I'd start working on this video again for you guys. And like I said, first I want to try to talk you out of it. The thing is, when you do this job, it's almost a lifestyle, and you get a lot of time off and you can make a good living, but you also are gone a lot, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with being away from your family. You're gonna miss birthdays and Christmases and funerals and anything you can imagine. You know, you could be stuck out here and something tragic happens, and it's gonna be 8 days till I could get to the dock at the soonest right now. So you have to be okay with that, and you have to learn to cope with it. If you're gonna do this, you need a good woman at home, or you need to be single, up to you. But if you got an old lady that's at home driving you nuts all the time, it's just not gonna work working out here. I've seen it a million times. Good guys come out here, they like doing it, but they got a lady that's wilding out at home, and it just don't work. Lucky for me, I have Crystal, and she deals with it well, but it's not easy. You also have to have very good interpersonal skills. One of the hardest things about this job is just getting along with the crew. You're on a small boat with 5 or 6 other guys and different personalities and different parts of the world, and y'all got to get along. And sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes you get one guy that just has to make everything fall apart, has to make it horrible, and you got to tough those trips out. And honestly, for me, it's one of the hardest parts about the job, is just getting along with everybody. Then you have the actual physical strain and labor the job has on your body. You're gonna work long hours sometimes. You know, sometimes at the dock we work over 12 hours. We work 12 hours every single day out here. And yeah, we have relaxing days like today where the weather is great and it seems like easy money. But we also have days where there's just horrible weather and you don't sleep good for days. And, you know, the boat's rocking and rolling. You know, you don't think about the little things, how hard it is to take a shower in the rough weather. Just the physical strain. You will be hot, you will be cold, you'll be tired. There'll be times when, you know, you're hungry. There's just all different things that make this job very hard, and especially starting out as a deckhand, it's going to be very physically demanding. So I would say it's a young man's game starting out, but it's not absolutely the rule. There are plenty of older people that get into the industry late and work as deckhands for their whole career. So I'm not saying that you can't do it as an older person, but generally guys are starting out in their 20s. All right, guys, you still with me? I didn't scare you off, and you still want to know how to get a job on a tugboat? Here we go. Now, I'm specifically going to talk about the type of tugboats that I work on. So ocean going and near coastal tugboats. I'm not going to talk about the inland stuff. It's a little bit different and easier to work inland, but in my opinion, you don't make as much money and the benefits aren't as good. But and I don't know as much about it. I'm going to speak on what I know about. The first thing you have to do is get what's called a merchant mariner's credential. We all have these. You're going to get an entry-level rating of ordinary seaman wiper. Now, this is entry-level. This means that you're just a new guy. You also have to get a transportation worker identification credential. That is a security check that came about after 9/11, and it's a Homeland Security thing. So those are the two things you need to do to get entry-level job. A TWIC card is going to cost you $125.25, and I'm going to put the website that you need to go to get that here, and it's really just a matter of going down and applying, and it's a background check. So if you've got a lot of bad felonies or anything like that, you may want to do a little research. I know that plenty are acceptable, but I don't know which ones they exclude you from. So you may want to do a little research. If you're in the clear, just go apply for it. That's what you do first. Once you've applied for that, then you can apply for your Merchant Mariner's credential. So to get your Merchant Mariner's credential, you're going to have to fill out a form, and I'm going to again put the website to where you can find this form. It is the CG719B. You fill that out, you write ordinary seaman, entry level, and it's going to cost you $140. It takes about 90 days from the time you send the application in until the time you get it back, so you're going to want to start ahead of time. Don't think you're just going to apply for this and start applying for jobs right away. To get this MMD, there are no requirements other than you need to go take a drug screen and you need to take a physical. Now, the physical that you take is very similar to like a DOT physical or a sports physical. There's a form for that one as well. That's the CG719K, and it can be found on the same website. You'll take that, you'll print it out, you go to your clinic, say I want to do this physical, boom, you check out and you send all that stuff in. Once you get that back, you can start applying for jobs. Now, the boat I work on, we don't even have entry-level guys because we're oceans. So to start out, you want to get any job because you're not going to have any experience, you're not going to know what you're doing, and you want to just get a job and get yourself about 6 months worth of experience. So you're going to apply to a bunch of different places. Get on Indeed, start searching around, searching tugboat companies, apply to all of them. Right now, everybody's hiring. The industry as a whole is hurting for people. So you'll probably get some calls back, but you have to stay persistent. Now, I want to talk about some add-ons that you can do to these two things that will help you get ahead of the game for your first job. Get a passport if you already don't have one. This is for a lot of companies do international travel. They go down to Mexico or wherever, and they're going to want you to have a passport. And then there's also a course called the STCW Basic Safety Training, and that is also kind of the first course that you would take in your career. It costs about $1,000 approximately, depending on which school you go to. There's a bunch of great schools. There's a good one in Jacksonville called Quality Maritime. There's Sea School all over the place. There's a good one down in Fort Lauderdale. The main thing is it doesn't really matter. Find a school that fits your budget and where you live, and so you don't have to spend a lot of money on hotels and things. I believe it's a 5-day course, and what they're going to teach you is safety. They're going to teach you basic firefighting, which is really cool. You actually suit up and go fight fires. They're going to teach you survival at sea. Should an emergency happen, they're going to teach you how to get through that emergency and survive. And what this does is it also allows you to travel internationally on your ordinary seaman ticket. So it makes you that much more marketable to companies. I recommend doing this right off the bat if you have the money. So the TWIC and the MMD, if you just do those two things, comes in at right at $440. And then if you add the basic safety training, that's like another $1,000. And if you don't already have a passport, I forgot. I didn't look up how much a passport is, but I definitely recommend getting it and start applying for jobs. And what's basically going to happen is a lot of times somebody's going to quit or not show up, or for whatever reason, a company's going to need a guy, and you're not going to have a whole lot of lead time. They're going to say, hey man, can you get on a plane 2 days from now? So you got to be kind of ready, mentally prepared to fly out, get on a tug and get your first job. Where I'm going to go after this is once you've got your first job and you get on a boat, I'm going to explain to you how to act, how to learn, how to be, and what to do to be successful. So you got your first job. You headed down to the boat. You're excited. You're going to start your tugboating career. I'm going to give you some tips for how to act and how to be successful. Now, I'm assuming you got zero experience. You may even have some experience on fishing boats or something like that. It's not really going to transfer tugs. The best thing to do is keep your mouth shut, pay attention, listen to what the captain tells you, and do things the way he tells you to do them the first time. These guys have to learn to trust you. They don't know you yet. It's going to take some time for the crew of the boat to get to know you, gain some trust, realize you're a good guy and worth investing their time and knowledge in. Show up early to watch, 10, 15 minutes early to watch, offer to help out off watch, go the extra steps that is going to show them that you want to learn. These guys aren't just going to trust you overnight. Give it time. It's not going to be your first trip where they kind of let you in as part of the crew. It's going to be 2 or 3 trips. Show them you're a hard worker, show them that you're willing to learn, and then it'll happen. Don't try to rush the process. Try not to sit where I'm at right now. When you're on watch, don't come sit at the galley table. There's always going to be something to be cleaned or organized or painted on a tugboat. And if you can't figure something out, go ahead and ask the mate or the captain that's on watch with you. He'll give you a list, no problem. I would recommend being proactive, finding things to do without having to ask. That'll go a long way with the guys. They'll notice, hey, this guy's proactive, he's paying attention. He saw the fiddly needed to be cleaned up and organized. And you go out there and do it, man, and it'll go a long way with these guys. Be a good shipmate. And by this, I mean basic stuff. Respect other people's property. Respect their space. Take showers. Don't be the smelly guy. You're going to want to learn how to cook at least 7 meals. Part of your duties as a deckhand is often going to be to cook. And one of the major things I see these days, these guys come to the boat and they say, I don't want to cook. I don't know how to cook. I can't cook. Listen, man, it's a basic life skill. And starting out, go ahead, learn how to cook. When I got on boats, I knew I was green and I didn't really know what was going on, but I could cook. And I cooked my tail off. And that way, those guys were happy and they were willing to teach me all the other stuff that I needed to know. So learn to cook a few meals before you get to the boat. There's probably going to be an old grouchy dude on the boat with you that's been doing this 20, 30 years. Honestly, when you recognize one of those guys, that's probably the guy you're going to want to pay attention. When he explains something, he's going to have all those years of knowledge and he's going to be able to give you that knowledge. So they may seem grouchy and grumpy, but they are knowledgeable. Pay attention when they're talking. Do it the way they said to do it, and you'll be surprised how well it works. You're going to reach a point a few months in where you think you got it licked and you've got this deckhanding thing figured out. I can tell you I don't. You don't. I'm 16 years into this. I learn something every single trip I'm on the boat. Never stop learning, keep an open mind, never get stuck in the trap of thinking you know everything there is to know about your position. Keep learning every day and you'll move up fast. Like I said, keep your head down, work hard, and keep your opinions to yourself, and you're gonna do fine. You're gonna learn. And once you got about 6 months or 180 days of sea time, go ahead and go upgrade to either an AB or a QMed. Now, I'm going to go over what that is in a separate video because I don't want this video to get too long. And that's all I have for this one, folks. I hope this video answered a ton of your questions. I had a ton of people reach out to me and ask how they could break into this industry, how they could start as a deckhand. And I hope this video gave you the knowledge to go ahead and do that. I think I will do another video if you like this one on what the next step would be,
how to move up the ladder in the industry, so to speak, upgrade your license, make more money, and take the next steps in making the tugboating a career. But at this point, I'm going to thank you guys for all your positive comments, likes, shares, and subscribes. We'll see you on the next one.